Hey everyone, Sean here. I don't normally make these kind of videos, but I figured I would make one here and now. I'd like to reflect on the changes that have happened to my channel over the course of the 2020, and as well as my plans for 2021. So basically, for my first few years of YouTube, my entire channel was dedicated to Minecraft. That started with map building, then moved on to generic PvP stuff, and then finally migrating to UHC, which it basically stayed there until I stopped doing Minecraft. Starting around 2015 or 2016 or so was when I began to get in the realm of video game music, which was basically started with some simple piano covers, like it started with Sky Tower, then moved on to some sheet music arrangements, then finally settling on fully live multi-track covers. For the longest time, my alias has been Sean081799. This was originally my Minecraft username, which then spread to becoming my YouTube username, my Twitter handle, several other things, etc. For those unaware, those numbers actually represent my birthday, which is August 17th, 1999. I've come to the realization that most people don't remember those numbers at the end, and most people just refer to me as Sean, or in the ironic case of Sean numbers, basically. Anyways, I've decided I'm going to drop the name Sean081799, partially. I will be renaming my YouTube channel to as well as my artist username, which is like Spotify, Apple Music, professional stuff like that, etc., to my real name, which will be Sean R. Hansen. This decision has been pretty hard that I've thought about for the past few months. At least, truth be told, I was hesitant to change this username. It's been attached to me since about 2013 or so, but in terms of future direction, I decided it'll be for the better. Since I started releasing music commercially over the past year, I began to realize that people aren't going to remember my name. A scenario I don't want to happen, for example, is they decide, oh, I like this music, and then they go to recommend it to their friend, but then they don't remember the numbers at the end of my username, and then they can't recommend it to their friend. And I don't want that to happen. I was originally actually going for just Sean Hansen, but then after doing some research, Sean Hansen was taken on Spotify, so I decided to add my middle initial in there as well for the next best option. To summarize what's changing, my YouTube username as well as my channel art has been changed to Sean R. Hansen. My commercial artist name is changing into Sean R. Hansen as well. I can't change the existing covers out there, which are currently Where We Used to Be from Xenoblade 2 and Soaring Illusions from Pokemon ORAS. But all future covers will be released under this new identity, starting with Driftville City, which was released on YouTube like 2 weeks ago. Things that are not changing, for example, my Twitter and Patreon are staying the same, so those will still keep Sean081799. Since if you follow me there, you probably know that this is associated with me, so I don't have a reason to change stuff there, because that's just a pain and I'd rather not. And then, so what else is changing beyond the username change? Well, if you subscribe to me for Minecraft content, I'll tell you right now that you can probably unsubscribe if you want. I haven't done anything Minecraft actively in years, and it's probably not coming back. Regarding sheet music transcriptions on arrangement, they might make an appearance, but for now they've been a low priority. Basically, I've put all my focus over the past 8 months or so into making live productions and the recordings. While it takes a lot more time, since I gotta write the arrangement, practice my parts, do all sorts of audio and video production, it takes a lot more time, but the result is just far more satisfying to me. And since I got into VGM, making covers like this that are actually good, let's not talk about the stuff that I made in 2017 because that was... But basically that's been my goal since the beginning. Like, there's people such as Insane in Their Music, who's probably been my biggest icon in music since I started this. For years now, I'm finally seeing myself make strides towards that level, and it's basically been kind of unreal of a feeling, and I can only hope that things will get better. While I can attribute a lot of this to buying new gear, which, yes, I'm aware it's not a good idea to attribute everything to new gear, but I'll be damned if it doesn't help. But there have been two very influential people in my music career. The first is actually my professor at school, which I study mechanical engineering at Michigan Technological University, but I'm also taking a minor in music composition. But I decided to take half a semester of music production and mixing classes, and was taught by a guy named Josh Lohr. This class helped me get some basic understandings of compression, EQ, volume balancing, etc. Basically everything about the basics, as well as the philosophy behind music and mixing and all that, because previously I was under the impression that you're not supposed to edit music at the millisecond and micro level, because I figured, oh, that's just fake. But then I realized, then he said, oh, this happens all the time in the professional world. I'm like, wait, you can do that? So I started going, okay, I can sync these together, and well, I'm like, oh, this sounds better. Who knew? So that was basically the takeaway from that. I ended up dropping out halfway through the semester to 2 reasons. The first being that while I love the audio department at school, it sucks that everything there is based on Apple products and Logic, while I'm a PC user with Reaper. So obviously the concepts changed over, but like anything to do with like specific mixing techniques, like using Logic specific plugins, I just couldn't use. And then the other thing is that right around halfway through the semester, March 2020, you know what happened, COVID went to hell, and everything just stopped working. So I decided to drop to keep myself sane, plus it's kind of hard to learn mixing from a remote setting because you basically need their equipment to do a lot of things. And the other person that's been really helpful for me was actually a good friend of mine. You may know him, you may not know him, you may know him. His name is Dave Clumsy. Basically, without giving away too many details, Dave and I formed a partnership in 2019 or so where I would compose a rough draft in MuseScore, and then I would pass it along to him, and he would basically give it life, give it all sorts of effects, make it sound good, as opposed to just which is basically the generic MuseScore sound fonts. And basically, every cover that I've released in the past year has been sent to Dave for feedback. He has a brilliant ear. He has editing skills that are, I can only dream them, and all around just an absolutely amazing person. He actually he let me borrow one of his pianos for my Where We Used to Be cover, where I sent him the MIDI data. He sent it back absolutely gorgeous because he owns a lot of expensive and high quality libraries when I'm generally stuck using free and cheap options. Basically, Dave is awesome. Go support him. I'll link his Twitter and stuff into the description. All around amazing guy. So you've probably also noticed that I've gotten really involved in the Pixel Mixers community over the past year, which is a community full of VGM artists like myself, all sorts of different backgrounds. I'm obviously someone who has a background primarily in jazz and funk, as well as stuff like orchestral percussion, because I was in band all the way through high school and middle school and everything. But PM basically has a person for everything. Like, you'll get people ranging from high energy metal to really intimate solo pianos to huge grand orchestral arrangements. Basically, there's a person for everything. And that's just crazy to me because you can collaborate from all sorts of different musicians from all different parts of the world, and it's just amazing. Everyone there is super kind, supportive, and welcoming. And anyway, PM runs a monthly contest, and all these monthly contests are based on a different theme or idea. Like this past month in February was towns and cities, so I submit my I'd submit an entry for Driftvale City from Pokemon Black and White, which got some pretty good reception, and I'm really happy about that. But that's basically what they do. I'll be participating in more of those in the upcoming months because they're really fun and they give me a sense of drive, since all of them have hard deadlines at the end of each month. And I'm a procrastinator. I like to put things off, keep putting it off. But having that hard deadline really gives me a sense, okay, this has to get done and I have to do it now. So those will continue. I don't know how often because I was on co-op last semester from August to December. I was out of state. I wasn't doing homework, so I actually had free time in the evenings. I'm back at school now, so I don't know how that's going to change, but we'll see. But yeah, all in all, those are really fun. And the other thing that's happened is that I also participated in my first PM community album, which was dedicated to Pokemon Gen 2, which my cover was on the Route 42 / Lake of Rage theme. And I had Zach collab on it with me. I'm sorry, I can't speak. And to be frank, I was really nervous going into it because a lot of these people are like really high-end musicians, and I felt kind of unworthy to be there. That could be imposter syndrome, but it was also justified. I think it was my first time. I'd only had like maybe 6 to 8 months of like actual good music mixing experience, but Everyone on the quality control team there, super kind, super helpful, very, very understanding that, okay, we know it's your first time. We'll totally give you pointers on your mix feedback, your arrangement feedback, etc. I'm like, bless you guys. You guys are so kind. And all in all, it turned out great. I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to participating on more. I will say right now, I am planned to be on 2 of them. 2 more as a collaborator. I'm not a primary arranger on them, but keep an eye out for them. And on top of this, some of my big plans for 2021. So in 2019, I co-founded a video game-based jazz band at my school with my friend Ryan Briggs. If you saw my Brawl Trophy Galley cover back last May? It's May or April, one of those. But anyway, he was the person who played bass, guitar, and trumpet on it. And yeah, he's been a good friend of mine, great to work with, and basically we co-founded a jazz band dedicated to game music, and we plan on recording that sometime soon. We are very lucky to be allowed to rehearse in person. All those are socially distanced and masked, of course. We have a slot like Tuesday nights. Yeah, Tuesday nights, and then we meet in the band room for like an hour and a half each week. Have a good time. Been the most fun I've had in college, period. And all in all, just keep an eye out for what we'll be doing. That, considering we're set to record in April, I hope. And then obviously I gotta mix everything, as well as Ryan will be doing some video production and all that. But keep an eye out for that. It's gonna be good. And so basically, all in all, I hate to admit it, because considering it's objectively pretty awful overall, 2020 was pretty good for me. And I'm hoping that 2021 will be even better. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope you stay tuned in future projects for me. Bye.